Okay, welcome to GMT Software channel. Today I'm going to be talking about web development. Uh, Web development can be categorized into two. Well, we have several sections in web development, but majority to for you to be able to understand more better, which is quite popular. We have the front end web developer and we have the back end web developer. So why are we categorizing them into two? Because the web works in request and response. You send a request to the web responded back to you. So that is how the web works in a simple language. So when we are talking about the front end developers are the ones that build the user interface. So we actually have some tools that are exclusively for front-end developers, like we have React.js, and we also have some tools that are exclusively for backend, and we have some tools that can do both backend and front-end. When I'm talking about tools, I'm talking about programming languages. So for what is the difference between a web designer and a web developer? I know a lot of us have been seeing web designers. We have most time confused them to web developers, and we also have confused web developers to software engineers. So I'm going to be enlightening you today about web developers, software engineers, and web designers. Web designers, they make use of the front end tools, and they design a website. Majority of times, web designers, the webs that they create are not functional. You might be a designer, create a website without any functionality. So web developers, they develop a web. They make use of it to be very, very useful, interactive web. Web designer is to design. You can actually put a website just to give information about your company without any interaction with the web, just for visual sake. So web design, the developers, they build webs so that you can be able to interact. What are the examples of web that are being developed? Your banking apps, your NIPSI, when you go to Nigeria Identity Commission website, their website is interactive. You can input your data and they can give you your NIPSI information out, your identity information out. So when we are talking about software engineers, we can actually categorize web developer as part of software. Sometimes we actually call both of them together. So when we're talking about engineering, so from the name software, web developers actually also build softwares. Are you getting me? But when we are talking about software engineers, we can actually relate them to what? To web developers. It's just a synonyms of words. And the little difference I can say about software engineers is they have more responsibility to handle more than one web developers. So going back to the web developers, as I have said earlier, we have two parts of them, the front end and the back end. And I actually talk about front end making use of make use of the front end tools, like they build the user interface. The back end, should I say, is the engine room, is where most of the logics are taking place. Should I say is the controller, is the engine room. Most of the response are being gotten from what? From the back end. So as a web developer, you can actually be a front end developer or a back end developer, or you actually be a full stack. When I'm talking about a full stack, like you combine the knowledge of both front end and back end together to actually become a full stack. So, and we have some that actually show some area of specialization on them. So, our next class, our next video, should I say, I'm going to be talking about cyber security. So I think with the few points I've led so far, you guys should be able to differentiate a web designer from a web developer from a software engineer, and you guys should be able to know that, oh, a web developer, they are categorized into front end and back end. So I want you to subscribe to this channel. We are going to be rolling more and more videos to clarify so many things in the tech world. Thank you very much.